Known to sip of false sales, never close, punch, stay stressed. Now I'm geek, so it's fucking hoe. I can't even count, can't stay stressed. Woo, 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 woo. Had to take a minute, was a close call.
Parents and ambition. This one I might resonate with a little more.
Why didn't my dad want to be around? I feel like I'm a pretty cool kid. I'm a good kid. Why wouldn't he want to be around for me? And then as I got older and kind of had my own family, I started to think I am who I am today because he wasn't there.
Do you think your father was too strict? Yes. No, he's gonna kill me, but I really get it more than anybody.
Look at myself. I wash my face in the dark. I wouldn't want to look in the mirror.
Really?
And my father teased me, and I just hated it. I cried every day because of the image.
Your father would tease you about your
Yes, he would tell me I'm ugly.
You would practice the dance steps, and your father would be holding a belt in his hand. Is that what you just said?
Yes.
How often would he beat you?
Too much.
Did you ever meet your father? I think I did at 12, but I don't really know. That's what my mom said, but I'm stoked. I think if I had a dad, I would have went the normal college route. I'm so stoked my life panned out how it was.
As a fatherless child, I have won a kickboxing tournament. I played in the same basketball tournament as Mikey Williams. I've won most effective attorney at a mock trial competition, which just means I was the best lawyer in the court case that convinced them that my side was guilty or not guilty. For a very brief period last year, I made more money in a month than I've seen anybody else around me make in a month while doing what I love, mind you. I've generated over 19,000 subscribers and over 20 million views across all platforms with the clients I've worked with and my own brand. People tell me that I've broken generational curses. Friends, family, significant others always tell me that my words are healing and they have a lot of power. And I find a way to make people better than how I found them. I mean, people literally pay me to hop on one-on-one consultation calls just so they can hear me speak, because that alone can help them get their lives together. I've been a part of a documentary. All of these things I've accomplished have happened between the ages of 17 to my age of now at 20. And you know, a lot of people will go, well, damn, that sounds really
You can't just sell in one place at once anymore.
Hey, premium.
You gotta sell it all.
cool. And I'm not gonna lie, that shit is cool. Like, let's be honest, I'm cool as fuck. Like, that actually sounds dope now that I'm hearing it out loud. But there's something that I noticed. The more I've achieved on in life, even the more impressive it is, the more I grow on YouTube, the more I level up in an area of life, it feels emptier sometimes. And I couldn't figure out why. But then today I had a realization of a paradox that I noticed that isn't talked about enough. It's the not good enough fatherless child parent mismatch paradox. I know I gotta work on the name, that's really shaky, but basically it has to do with the paradox between successful people and why some of the most successful people are the ones who had very strained relationships with their parents.
You grew up without a father. How do you feel like your life would be different if you had grown up with a father?
I'd have had some discipline. I'd have had more confidence.
You seem pretty confident to me.
Now I am, because now I believe that I'm my own man. You know, money gave me confidence. The screams of the crowd gave me confidence. But before that, I was a shell of a man.
Because you see, I broke down the root of it. Why am I so successful? Why do I want so much success? Why do I want to be so great? I couldn't figure it out. Like, why did I feel like I have this calling? While one could argue maybe that's God speaking to me. That's me just having a bigger purpose than, you know, what I've been shown. And I do think that is true as well. But I think another part of where that hunger to be so great, that hunger to always want to be above average, I never want to be seen as normal, I think where it comes from is my dad not being around, right? Because whenever the person that's supposed to love you unconditionally doesn't love you, abandons you, it tells something to your mind. It tells you that you are not good enough as is, even though you as a human just being.
Ooh, might have to talk on this one. I ain't gonna lie, I'm keep it a stack. Same way. Me and my dad, I think I only recall like what, 3 instances in my life where I seen him. And one of them was like while he had cancer, I was on a FaceTime call, and it was just tubes and like a bunch of heart monitors just attached to his chest. And I was like, man, it was like 2020. I was like, what, 12? Yeah, I was 12 going to 13. I think I took a screenshot while I was on the call. Cause I was like, man, this guy said I'm not his son, but we got the same nose. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. And now he had passed away too, like 6 months after that, so I had to go on with the rest of my life knowing that I will never be able to build that bond, but I take it upon myself now to know, like, I have to make something of myself because there wasn't really no blueprint for me to follow. So the generational curse thing is so real. It's so real because I don't know, as I gotten older and I learned more about my family, it's like, I don't know. I'm not gonna say I'm ashamed. It's just more like why. But gotta keep pushing with life. I might go into a story time later with that, but today we're just gonna go continue with the vid. But most definitely I'll tell that story someday. I got y'all.
Here should be cherished and appreciated, and that should be enough. I always tell people just being born is enough. Everything else is just a cherry on top. Your existence is proof of God, and that's enough. But whenever that isn't the reality, I think what switches off in a lot of our successful people's brains, whenever that person isn't around, it makes you feel like you have to prove your worth. You have to prove why you deserve love. And the reason why I know this is because I caught myself saying that a while ago. I said, well, you know, my dad wasn't really in my life, but guess what? He gonna have to see me on the TV one day, and he gonna be the one who missed out. He gonna have to see why he should have stayed in my life. And that's the place I was coming from of why I was so hungry for success. And that's why the more I accomplished, the more I did, despite being so oppressive, it didn't matter, because the one person I wanted to look at me, the one person I was going, hey look at me, they were nowhere to be found. It's no different than the people whose parents don't believe in them, or the people who have terrible relationships with parents and they leave home early.
Your mom excited about your success as an actor?
No.
No?
That's not even a joke, she's just not.
Why not?
Because there's no stable income. Like, it's,
really?
She doesn't understand it. It's like, she doesn't understand the term freelance. She doesn't get it. She doesn't like, what are you doing? When I got nominated for Oscar, yeah?
Yeah, you think that would maybe be...
I FaceTimed her. First person, I was like, yo, Mum. She was on the way to work. I was like, Mum, got nominated for an Oscar. She's like, congratulations, does this mean you're gonna have a job?
Oscar, bro. I can't even imagine, bro. That had to hurt. He on live TV, so it's, you know, they gonna laugh it off, but like I know deep down that hurt. Damn, bro. Sometimes you gotta play it off, like, you know, they'll make the dad jokes and stuff, like, you gotta laugh it off, but sometimes we sit down with it by yourself, it's like, man, this is really how life is gonna go for the rest of the life. Like, you can't change, you can't do nothing about it, because it wasn't even your fault. Sometimes you feel like it was, because you would never understand why you didn't have those sad people in your life. Sad.
Great. While yes, you know, it creates amazing art, it creates amazing moments in history, it partially is coming from a place of inadequacy. It's partially coming from a place of trying to prove something to somebody that was never going to believe it anyway. And you know, while this may come across as sad, there's actually a beautiful realization that can be found from this. Because like somebody that I saw who holds this very well is 50 Cent. 50 Cent, his mom died at a young age and he never really knew his dad. So instead of internalizing that as he's not good enough or he doesn't have anybody for him and that's why he should give up at life, he instead turned and looked at life and said, since there's nobody else to run to, I'm gonna run dead at whatever I fear. I'm gonna run at whatever scares me or what's ever bothering me because I don't have anybody else to go to.
I never ran from anything because I had nobody to go to. I've always had that where I'm going, home to get me, ain't nobody there. I've always been in a situation where I'm forced to deal with it myself.
And as we see today, 50 Cent is not only one of the most hardworking people ever, but he's one of the most successful, one of the most fearless. So I'd like to say this to all the kids and even adults who maybe have a strained relationship with your parents, you grew up fatherless, or you feel like they don't believe in you. Regardless of whatever that is, and as hard as it is, because we want the people closest to us to believe in us, love us, and cherish us, you can't worry about how they're gonna think or how they're gonna feel about what it is that you want or your worth. As sad as it is, you cannot tie your worth to your parents. You can't tie your worth to situations. You can't tie your worth to anybody outside of yourself. Because whenever you let anybody else be responsible of how good you are, you will always be disappointed. But whenever you put how good you are not in the external, not in other people's opinions, but instead your own internal self-love, you will always feel loved, cherished, respected, and appreciated. And more importantly, you can help attract people that also feel that way as well. So, you know, that's just a message I want to bring to this paradox of, you know, the parent-child complex and chasing success, you know. So
in psychology, research shows that when a father figure is emotionally or physically absent, it changes the way a child learns to attach, to trust, and to believe they are worth choosing. Boys may grow up feeling like they have something to prove, but never quite enough to offer. Girls may grow up craving validation from people who are unable to give it, and both will learn, often without realizing it, that love is something you chase, not something you receive. This absence doesn't just create sadness, it creates confusion. It teaches the brain that abandonment is normal, that affection is conditional, that loyalty is something you have to earn by being perfect, silent, or small. It might look like being terrified when someone truly loves them, or staying in relationships where they are treated like an afterthought, because deep down, that is the script they were handed. It might look like overworking, overgiving, and overthinking, trying to fill a space that was never supposed to be empty in the first place. Healing from an absent father is not about pretending it didn't hurt. It's about admitting the loss without making it a reflection of personal worth. It's about grieving the apologies that will never come, and realizing that love is not something you must audition for. Healing looks like setting standards where abandonment is no longer acceptable. It looks like choosing relationships where presence is consistent, not a prize to be won. It means learning that the absence was never about their value, but about someone else's inability to stay. The road is not easy, but every step is a quiet rebellion against the lie that they were unworthy of love, because they were always worthy. And healing is not about filling the hole someone else left behind. It's about becoming the safe person that child always needed.
Yeah, I don't know, bro. This video is a little more personal, so I feel a little weird, but it's all right. Whoever it gets to, right? With that though, man, listen, I'm Alex the Virgo. If you'd like to book a one-on-one consultation call with me,
I don't know, man. I don't know. You could think about it all day. And it was good. I ain't see that. But yeah. You can always think about it all day. It's never gonna make sense. I don't know. It's like you can't sit around and not do nothing. So you gotta keep pushing. So all we can do is keep pushing. That was a good video.